Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a university Q&A. On my last video I asked for people to leave any questions or things they wanted to know about university that I hadn't covered in that video. So I've got a few questions I thought I would answer and maybe they'll help a few people out. Okay, so the first person asked quite a few questions, so I'm going to go through them one by one. The first one is what course I take in Exeter. So I study psychology. I just do regular psychology, I don't do clinical or applied or anything like that. The second question is, when is reading week usually? I don't know if it's the same for every uni, I don't think it is, I think it varies. For me last year it was around October time, I think it was like mid-October was when I had my reading week. And then the next question is, how much money do you think we should set aside for freshers and what events are the most crowded usually? Now I think this completely depends on what you're doing for freshers. I've watched some videos where people said they spent like £500 in freshers, which I did not spend. I definitely don't think you need to spend that much. It's not worth it. I would put aside, maybe budget for each day. So if you know what event you're going to, put that into it. How much you usually spend on a night out, add that up, because I'm quite good at being like frugal. I will easily not buy drinks in a club and I'll just beforehand. So I would say, if you're willing to spend more money, you can do, but you could easily do the whole week in under £100 if you, do everything wisely. And then to answer the bit about which events are most crowded, I think most events in freshers are quite crowded because everyone buys tickets beforehand, so everyone's kind of ready to go. So I don't think there's like a specific thing. I would say just most events in freshers, especially ones that are specific fresher events rather than just, club nights. And then their final question is, would you recommend going to the events by the uni or things like Project X? Now I'm not 100% sure on what Project X is, but I would say get involved with the uni events because that's where you're going to meet most uni students. They're not all great, don't get too excited. I mean, it might be different for every uni, but they weren't that amazing. I think the whole meeting people aspect of freshers is way more fun, and like when you're nights out and meeting new people rather than the event themselves. Like usually they're just, the sticky club on campus and you're in some sort of fancy dress costume, and that's pretty much every event that you're going to go to. The next person asked about student life in Exeter and specifically like the Exeter campus. I would say Exeter's not a going out city. It's not like a huge kind of, it's not like a massive clubbing city. We have about 4 clubs and it's fine. It's fun to go out in. It's great in that aspect, but it's not if you're, expecting to go somewhere like, London and Manchester where there's lots and lots of clubbing and things like that. It's not going to be like that. But there's enough going on that is fun, and yeah, there's always things to do. The next question is, how much do I spend a week on food? My weekly budget was usually around £20. I would tend to do online shops, and yeah, that was just easier for me. I always knew what I wanted. And yeah, I think £20 was probably my average, not taking into account like drinks and things like that. The next question was, what's it like being a vegan at uni? And I think it's fine. I started off the year as vegetarian, and then it wasn't until about Easter time that I actually turned vegan properly. But for the most part I was eating vegan from the beginning, and it's just because it's cheaper. A lot of people you'll find will eat more vegetarian or more vegan at uni even if they eat meat, just because of saving money. So yeah, being vegan is easy because all the staples that you want are the cheapest things, like oats, rice, pasta, potatoes, bread, everything like that is super affordable. So yeah, being vegan I found super easy. And then someone else asked if I could give some advice about being vegan at uni. So that kind of carries on from that. I would say food wise, always make sure you're stocked up on the essentials and all the affordable stuff so you can eat as much food as you want. In terms of like other people, you just have to make sure that you're happy and you're confident with being a vegan, and I would make sure that you have knowledge on it. So if they have questions, you can give them answers. If people are trying to be funny and giving you snarky remarks, you can shoot them down with a better remark about some sort of fact. So that's always great. I would say know as much stuff as you can, and for the most part is easy. Just don't let what other people think, you know, change how you think. Yeah, that's probably, the main stuff that I would say. And then I think this is the final question, but it's, when at university do you only get accommodation for a year and then you have to find your own place? Yes, that's usually the case. So for most people, they'll go into halls for their first year, which is kind of like the uni accommodation. And then for second and third year, people will go off with a few friends and find a house. Some people do stay on campus and they'll stay in halls for the whole 3 years, or they'll go off and find a house and then the next year they'll come back and be in halls. But yeah, I'm going into a house this year with some friends. So that has been all of the questions. I hope this has been semi-helpful. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!